This is the review for our first test for this quarter. We're going to go ahead and divide using synthetic division. Remember that we have to say k minus 3 equals 0. So we have to set k equal to 3. So that's in the corner. And then what we have to do is we have to list our coefficients for this equation. We know it's 1, -8, 11, 9. So for synthetic division, what you have to do is you have to drop the 1. You multiply 3 times 1, which gives you 3. And then you add -8 plus 3, which gives you -5. And you have 3 times -5, which gives you -15. 11 plus -15 gives you -4. 3 times -4 gives you -12. And we know that 9 plus -12 gives you -3, and that's a remainder. This part is our quotient. And we know that it's raised to the power 3. And so we've divided a factor, so we're left with 2 factors. So it's going to be 1x squared, or 1k squared minus 5k minus 4 plus our remainder, which is minus 3 divided by k minus 3. So our answer is D. This is number 3. And once again, when we use synthetic division, we have k plus 1 equals 0. So we have to set k equal to -1. So what goes in the corner is -1. The next item that you have to do, or the next step in the process, is you have to list your coefficients. So it's going to be 1, 5, -1, -9. And what you do with the 1 is you drop the 1. -1 times 1, you start multiplying. It's -1. 5 plus -1 gives you 4. -1 times 4 gives you -4. -1 plus -4 gives you -5. -1 times -5 gives you 5. So our remainder is -4. Our quotient, since we've divided a factor, and we know that there's a total of 3 factors, so there's 2 that are remaining, so we're going to have 1 k squared plus 4k minus 5 minus the remainder, which is 4 over k plus 1. So this right here is your quotient. So your answer is D. For number 5, we have this cubic polynomial. So we're going to list the possible roots. You're going to look at your constant, which is -12, and you're going to look at your coefficient, which is 3, and you're going to give me the possible factors of 12, which is 12, 6, 3, well, it'd be plus or minus 4, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 1. And remember I told you it's a ratio. And we're going to have the factors of 3, and it's going to be 3 and 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and divide. 12 divided by 3, that's plus or minus 4. 12 divided by 1, that's plus or minus 12. 6 divided by 3, that's plus or minus 2. 6 divided by 1, plus or minus 6. 4 divided by 3, that's plus or minus 4/3. 4 divided by 1, that's 4. It repeats. 3 divided by 3, that's plus or minus 1. 3 divided by 1, that's 3, plus or minus 3. 2 plus or minus 2/3. 2 divided by 1, that's 2. And then we have 1 plus or minus 1/3. And then we have 1. So let's kind of eliminate the answers we know that definitely are going to be wrong. A doesn't have enough of the list that we have. And in our list, we don't have 1/12. So the only answer we have is going to be B. So it's plus or minus 1. And if I wanted to check, I can just highlight. We have 1. We have 2. We have 3. We have 4. We have 6. We have 12. We have 1/3, 2/3, and 4/3. And the others repeat. Okay. For number 6, we're trying to figure out the possible roots. And so remember, that we have to look at our constant and we have to look at our leading coefficients. And you're going to start listing the factors of 12, which is 12, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's a ratio to your leading coefficient, which is 1. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to divide. 12 divided by 1, 12. 6 divided by 1 is 6. 4 divided by 1 is 4. 3 divided by 1 is 3. 2 divided by 1 is 2. 1 divided by 1 is 1. So we know that we don't have any fractions. And we don't have just 1 and 11. So your answer is D. So the instructions for number 8 are that we have to find the roots or the zeros. So we're going to start by figuring out what could be possible roots. We know that our leading coefficient is 3. We know that our constant is 1. So we have plus or minus 1 over plus and minus 3 plus and minus 1. So if I wanted to make a list, it'd be plus or minus 1/3. It'd be plus or minus 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and check one of these roots if it comes out. And we're going to use synthetic division. So I'm going to write synthetic division. I'm going to try x equal 1 as I'm going to see if it's a root. So I'm going to go ahead and write down a 1 here in the corner. And I'm going to list the coefficients for my polynomial. So you have 3, -7, 5, -1. Synthetic division, you drop to 3. 1 times 3 is 3. -7 plus 3 is -4. 1 times -4 is -4. 5 plus -4 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1, so that's 0. That is our remainder. So we know that it is a root. So we have 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals 0. And at this point, since we know we have 2 remaining roots, we're going to use a quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is they're listed negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So we know that b is negative 4, so it's going to be 4 plus or minus square root negative 4 squared minus 4 times 3 times 1 divided by 2a. In this case, it's going to be 2 times 3. So we have 4 plus or minus square root. And we know negative 4 squared is 16. So we have 16 minus 12 over 6. 4 plus or minus square root. And we have 16 minus 12, which is 4. So we have the square root of 4 is 2. So it's 4 plus or minus 2 over 6. 4 plus 2 equals 6 over 6, which is equal to 1. So we have x equal 1. And then the other root is 4 minus 2 over 6 is equal to 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 over 6 gives you 1/3. So our roots are x equals 1, x equals 1. So we have a multiplicity of 2 for 1, and then we have 1/3. So if we look at our answer choices, we have a 1, and it's a multiplicity of 2, which is going to be this one here.